The ticket price. This does not shock me at all. What did I say earlier? The WNBA was about to F around and find out, and these rival teams were going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, they're finding out.
The lights went down, the crowd erupted, and for a moment it felt like the WNBA had finally broken through the ceiling after years of grinding for attention, fighting for packed seats, headlines, and cultural relevance. Everything suddenly clicked. Viewership numbers were off the charts. Tickets were selling out. The energy stretched from arenas to social media, from living rooms to national broadcasts. It wasn't just hype, it was history being made. But then, just like that, one small headline changed everything. One player ruled out for a few weeks. No major injury, no league-wide announcement, just a brief update, and the entire atmosphere shifted. That single update triggered a chain reaction no one saw coming. Ticket sales dropped, engagement dipped, merch numbers slowed. What looked like a thriving empire suddenly showed cracks. It was like pulling one brick out of a massive tower and watching the whole thing tremble. And in that moment, a harsh question came into focus. Was this meteoric rise in women's basketball truly a sign of long-term growth? Or was it all riding on the back of one transcendent superstar? The answer wasn't pretty. The drop-off exposed just how much of the league's momentum hinged on one name, one presence. And now that reality is forcing the WNBA into an uncomfortable position, a wake-up call that its future might be far more fragile than fans and executives want to admit.
The Caitlin Clark effect has been a net positive for the WNBA and all of its teams. But the star guard expected to miss a minimum of 2 weeks. The league will see the flip side of her impact, and there are already initial data points. This is front office sports. No conspiracies, no BS from them. Statistical.
Before the rumors of her absence even started, the WNBA was riding a tidal wave of momentum. Every Indiana Fever game had become must-see entertainment. Tickets were vanishing fast, some selling for over $80 just to get in the door, with courtside seats going for even more. The buzz wasn't just hype, it was real, electric, unstoppable, and it pushed opposing teams and arena officials to make bold, high-risk decisions in hopes of cashing in. Take the Chicago Sky, for example. They didn't just tweak their game plan, they went Allen. They moved their showdown with the Fever from their intimate 2,400-seat Winrust Arena to the massive 21,000-seat United Center. That's a venue built for NBA stars and sold-out concerts. And they were betting one thing, that Caitlin Clark's star power could fill every single seat. This wasn't just about logistics. It was a statement, a full-blown gamble that hinged on one player's ability to pack the house and light up the league. Because, make no mistake, everyone knew who the fans were coming to see.
To hit the panic button 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks. The market has responded, and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this. We want her, but we don't want it.
Then came the moment everything shifted. What started as a quiet rumor quickly erupted into full-blown headlines. Caitlin Clark, the unstoppable force behind the WNBA's momentum, was out sidelined, and just like that, the energy surrounding the league collapsed. The reaction wasn't slow, it was instant. The market didn't hesitate, it responded with a cold, harsh truth. Without her, this version of the WNBA simply didn't hold the same weight. The silence that followed wasn't just disappointing, it was deafening. Fans didn't show up, prices nosedived, the demand that once felt limitless disappeared overnight. Just look at that Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game at the United Center. What was once one of the hottest tickets in the league, starting at $86, plummeted to just $25 in a matter of hours. That's a jaw-dropping 71% drop, practically unheard of, and a brutal gut punch for organizers who'd gambled on a sellout. And it didn't stop there. The same crash repeated when the Fever played the Washington Mystics on the road. Empty seats, slashed prices, a harsh reality setting in. This wasn't just a one-off, it was a wake-up call, loud, clear, and impossible to ignore.
Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent. They're a dumpster fire now. And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, oh, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
What was once a hot ticket going for $41 quickly lost its shine, dropping to just $22. That's a staggering 47% dive, the kind of drop that leaves both fans and front offices stunned. And it wasn't just one game. Zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Across 5 major Indiana Fever matchups over a 2-week stretch, average ticket prices had been soaring at around $137. But after the injury news hit, that average crumbled to just $80, a sharp 42% decline in barely a fortnight, proving just how brutally the market reacted.
They stink now. Yeah, it's about me too. No, it's not. And this is proof.
This wasn't just a small dip in interest. It was a thunderous statement from the fans. No Caitlin Clark, no tickets. The demand was crystal clear. People weren't just coming for the WNBA, they were coming to see her. And when she wasn't on the court, the whole vibe changed. You could feel it. The buzz was gone before the game even started. It was like someone let all the air out of the building. That eerie silence told a much bigger story. The league's rise in popularity, the one everyone was celebrating, wasn't as secure as it seemed, because behind all the hype was a fragile truth. This massive surge wasn't being driven by broad interest. It was riding almost entirely on the shoulders of one unstoppable star.
To games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42%. Since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137, all the way down to $80.
This wasn't just about a superstar sitting out a few games. It was a harsh, unfiltered spotlight on the WNBA's deepest cracks. The numbers didn't lie. Cold, brutal, and impossible to ignore. They confirmed what many suspected but few dared to say out loud. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's the engine driving the league. It's as if the entire operation is running on her fuel, while everyone else is just riding shotgun, hoping to catch some of the heat. She generates the surge in popularity, the packed stadiums, the viral social clips, the rising ticket sales. It was all celebrated as proof of a league turning a corner, a brand new era. They set a sign that women's basketball was finally earning the respect it deserved. But now this moment exposed a painful truth. Nearly all that momentum was tied to one generational star. And when she's not on the court, the league doesn't just lose excitement, it loses identity. Because beyond Caitlin, the WNBA still lacks a full lineup of equally bankable stars. No deep roster of standout personalities to carry the torch when she's gone. And that's the real issue, the kind no highlight reel can fix.
People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower the price. This isn't all resellers, folks. Hate to break it to you. A majority of these are everyday normal people. A majority of these are everyday normal people who watch Caitlin Clark in Iowa, watch her in her first year in Indiana, said, man, I want to watch that. I want to go to those games. I want to experience that. They won't be able to experience it. Time to sell.
It was a reality check the league couldn't ignore. If just a brief absence from Caitlin Clark could cause this kind of widespread crash in interest, what did that say about the true strength of the WNBA's foundation? It wasn't just about 1 or 2 games. It was a red flag waving across the league's entire business model. The ripple effect hit everything: ticket sales, hype, energy, and the league's financial future. Even the matchups that were meant to be blockbuster events, like the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever, which had come to symbolize the WNBA's newfound momentum, suddenly lost their shine. The energy disappeared. The big dreams of sold-out arenas turned into the harsh reality of rows of empty seats. It wasn't just numbers dropping, it was an atmosphere collapsing, and it was obvious even casual fans could feel it. The buzz was gone. This wasn't your typical star injury, where people still came out of loyalty or habit. This was different. This was serious. The league's heavy bet on Clark's superstar pull had backfired, and it was playing out in real time. Without her, the magic faded. The idea that one star could lift the whole league, it collapsed under pressure, and suddenly many teams were left scrambling, fighting to stay relevant in the silence she left behind.
I mean, it's more statistical proof, data, to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship, this whole bus. She's driving it. Everybody else get in the back. Get in the back.
With Caitlin Clark suddenly out of the spotlight, the attention didn't fade, it just shifted, and it landed squarely on Angel Reese. To many, she was the natural heir to the moment. Her bold presence, undeniable charisma, and trend-setting style had already made her a household name off the court. She had built a powerful brand magnetic to fans who saw her not just as a player, but as a cultural force. She was always part of the conversation, always in the headlines, and never afraid to make bold claims, including the now famous statement that people watched the WNBA because of her. It was confidence, it was swagger, and with the league suddenly missing its biggest name, that kind of bravado was exactly what it needed, desperate for someone to step into the vacuum and keep the momentum alive. The WNBA turned its focus toward Reese, hoping her fame could fuel the same kind of buzz, sellout crowds, and national attention that Clark had delivered week after week. Now the big question loomed: could Angel's star power actually carry the weight of the league's expectations?